What up, my glip glops, and peace among worlds. The SRA Grid Reports come back for a special off-season podcast here, playing on our season theme for Season 7 of a little bit of out of this world space. We've brought some of the finest talent from SRA into the booth as Bailey just coughs along up onto the
I'm
podcast
so
table.
sorry.
Well, I guess they hacked more than just your Discord, eh? They hacked your
Oh
lungs too.
God, I'm so sorry. I was drinking water and I choked.
Typical bendy brew activities. But
Typical.
we've brought some of the upper echelon of SRA's talent here. I would say one of the first SR aliens and a current SR alien in Travis Robinson and Jeff Spangler. How the boys doing tonight?
Yeah, let's make it clear. I'm the ex SR alien and might never see that top 10 ever again with the current talent that's in SRA now. But yeah, no, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm doing well. The door's probably gonna hit me out of on the way out of the Alien Club as well pretty soon. I know there's at least four probably top 10 caliber guys coming in, or at least have put laps up. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, as always with the off season, those timetables are scary with what some people can put up, but the infinite amount of practice time is, I don't know. I always give it a little bit of wiggle room and then see people just demolish in the season, so we shall see. And now that he's stopped choking, how's Bailey doing?
I wouldn't say I've stopped. I've tamed it. I'm doing better. But had a little bit of break and we're back, getting ready for the kickoff of season 7 as we hit with a couple of famous guys on in around SRA. Excited for this one.
That's my turn. It's awesome to hear, and great to have you back with us. And yeah, like I said, we brought some of the ex and current SR aliens in here, and if I remember correctly, because we haven't gone over it in a while, SR aliens are the top 10 SR rating drivers in the league. So that's a combination of quite a lot of skill metrics off of qualifying pace, race performances, actual stint times, other race performances, and really proves that you are the best of the best around these parts. And with a week to go in registration and over 300 or up to 300 drivers registered now, I mean that's a pretty big chunk of drivers to stand at the top of. But whether you're there or you're not currently there, what what does it take to be an alien? Like, I mean, you're fast, but is it an extra level of commitment? Like, what do you find yourself doing to stay, I guess, technically at the upper end of Division 1 there, Jeff?
I mean, if I'm honest, after how poorly I felt last season went, looking back on it, I think maybe I was a little harsh on myself. When I looked at the end of season, I was like, how am I still up there? And as sample size continues to get larger and larger, I feel like I got off to a great start in my first season 2 seasons ago, and then was like I said, I feel like I was disappointed in the season, but I think I finished like sixth or something. So yeah, just trying to be as consistent as you can. Obviously, your mileage may vary with different levels of talent. I know there's some guys probably that are more talented than others, and then there's others that work extra hard to make up for it. Growing up, I was a violinist. I don't play very much anymore, but it's kind of the same way in that sort of music. You have a lot of people that work really hard to maybe make up for gaps in talent, and that can take you a long way.
Most definitely. And that's actually an interesting reference because I don't know, myself, you hear violinist and you think an absolutely immense amount of practice because that's a craft you really have to perfect. And racing is kind of the same way, but yeah, I guess there are some people who can arrive and drive at the upper level of talent. But On the other end of the spectrum, Travis, like you're definitely no slouch in the car. I mean, you've lost the alien status, but that's 10 of however many, and you're still up at the top of the SR rating board. Like you're still up there pretty high. Like what do you find yourself doing to try and, I guess you could say, maintain your status or try and stay up where you are rather than float through the pack?
Just hoping that everyone else does bad around me. No,
It's not a bad tactic.
I mean, you're not wrong.
yeah, no, I think I kind of luck out, or one of the statistics that keeps me up higher, um, has over more recent seasons has been my qualifying pace. I've been really good at capitalizing on that short quality stint of, we only have 10 minutes to do as fast a lap as possible, and I do a pretty good job at consistently putting myself, not necessarily in the top 10 anymore, but within the top 15. And um, week in and week out, I think there are other drivers who should be up there, but just can't capitalize within that 10 minutes. And that's one of the things that I think does keep me within a top 15 to top 10 performance each week. Um, and there are definitely drivers that are lower in the SRA rating than me that are absolutely faster than me, but just that single lap pace or that single lap stress of qualifying just isn't quite there. I think, for myself, I've been sim racing for about 12 years now, so I have that kind of edge on some people where qualifying doesn't bother me as much. But you look at my teammates, and while some of them are getting more experience, um, they're still relatively new in the grand scheme of it, and they are definitely as fast as me. But I'm usually 5+ positions ahead of them just because that 10 minutes is a little bit more stressful, and they'll get there. But yeah, that's what's keeping me up for now.
Well, like you pointed out there, qualifying is definitely, I'd say with our format, one of the harder things to get right on a consistent basis. Like you can put in laps and you can get yourself a pretty good race pace, but to come out and hit your PB in those 3 to 5 laps, depending on the track, maybe 6, if my brain is not working in the off season. But yeah, it's pretty tough to nail that qualifying.
And only gonna get more tough with the
Yeah,
new
Yep.
tires,
That's what I
I
was
was
unfortunately.
about
just
to
gonna
mention.
say. Yeah, I
Exactly.
realized I didn't really answer your question very well, but I'll just say I definitely agree with what Travis is saying. It's easy to get like sucked into the leaderboards, and like in this format, everybody has theoretically unlimited time to grind out their best laps during the week, but it's just about hitting, maybe a certain percentage of that. And if you can, do 90% of your personal best, or depending on how everyone else is doing it, maybe it's only 80%, but if you can do well enough in that short period of time to get yourself clear, hopefully, of a lot of the shenanigans, mid-pack and backwards with everybody jammed in there, it definitely goes a long way. Yeah, as you were talking, I kind of was thinking back to, oh yeah, first row, second row, third row, and I found myself there a decent amount of time, and yeah, it really takes you a long way. But yeah, sorry to segue, gonna be very different with 10 minutes of quality and tires that take like 3 laps to warm up.
Yeah, especially when you get only 5 laps, usually.
Relapse to warm up and are gone on the fifth.
Yep.
It's yeah.
Yeah,
Who turned this into an F1 series?
I
Why
mean,
does it
it's
not
funny.
feel like an F1 car?
Yeah, no, you listen to like the real drivers talk, or the guys on the SRO broadcasts, and they're talking about these Pirelli tires, and they heat up, and then they give you a good lap or two, and then they fall off pretty quickly, and that seems to be what we're getting now, in the game, and so that added bit of realism, I think it's cool.
I completely agree. Yeah, this 1.9 or version 1.9 and point 1.9.1 that we've now gotten to finally fix a few cars and some issues has been quite the handful. I mean, from remodeling the way that the tires actually grip the road to changing, I believe they went and changed the way the suspension reacts. They changed some of the track surfaces and how they give off grip back to the cars, or I guess drag if you want to think about it that way. Um, and yeah, I can say one perspective for certain. I almost cried when I got in the Aston
Yeah.
because I spent
Tears of joy or
I
tears of sadness?
I spent 35 minutes in that car, and the best lap I could put down was a 45.1.
That's
I,
the exact same time I did in the exact same car.
I'm almost a second clear in every other car. The
Yeah.
the feeling of weight in 1.9
Yeah.
is so present. And if you're not I find that if you're not careful to load up the tires in a gentle manner, they just walk away from you. How do you guys feel?
Absolutely. I like. I'm. I wish I could go back to setups that I was using in 1.8, but man, they're like complete write-offs at this point, and it's it's a it's a rework, and I am struggling with, just tire management and trying to make it work, and man, it is going to be a struggle. I wish I had more. I wish I had more time to put into this new update before the start of the season, but here we are.
Yeah, it was nice of the admins to give us the extra break by an extra week, but I guess wasn't enough for some people, and I know there's going to be a lot of people who even by the middle of the season they're like, what am I doing here? But Jeff, how do you feel?
Yeah, I totally agree. The cars feel like they have, mass that's moving around, and I kind of felt that way about when 1.8 came out. Like the first time I drove over, the RNG chicane at Imola, and the car like bounced sideways, like that was a new thing, like that sort of lateral movement, like that. I was like, wow, this is amazing, and I kind of have similar feelings about the cars now. I mean, they reduce the rolling resistance, so you're carrying more speed down the straight in most cases, and then the turns seem to take a little longer. Like you actually have time to kind of think about what you're doing, to feel what the car is doing, and it gives you that level of feedback. One thing I've noticed, and I think Jardier was talking about it, is this. I don't know if you guys have had this happen. If you kind of overcook it into a corner, maybe even like a slower one, um, the car used to, you would just oversteer. The rear end would come out a little bit, and then you could fix it and keep on going. But now you can do like this four-wheel drift slide thing, and it's almost like the
Yes.
momentum of the car is carrying you through. You break traction, and you just kind of keep going in that same the same direction. And that, I think, that is what destroys your tires. I don't know if you guys have had, a relatively short stint, 20-minute race that had like light graining or worse, and you're like, where the hell did that come from? What did I
Yep.
do wrong? Like it's those kind of slides that we didn't have before that I think are doing that. But yeah, it's very interesting now.
Yeah, no, I was witnessing that last night myself when I was doing League in a Week. Barcelona, especially, with how much how much the car requires on the tires, and immediately you feel the snap, and you're just like, what was that?
Yeah,
It's so unpredictable.
there's going to be some drivers who actually adapt really well to this new tire model, and kind of, it's kind of a new driving style that we're all going to have to adapt to. Um, there are going to be some people who are on other sims who are used to a little bit of a lighter car that does slip around more, and they're probably going to adapt to this 1.9 fairly smoothly. And then there are drivers who, like for myself, I literally just play ACC. I don't play any other games. I don't have time for other sims anymore.
Yeah,
So
same.
you get so accustomed how one car feels, and it's this type of an update is so drastic that it kind of feels like you're on a completely different game, completely new game. And like Bailey was saying, or Jeff was saying, is 1.8 felt drastic as well. We got used to it. I'm sure it'll be the same. This one just feels like even a larger change, and maybe that's because of the addition of the 3 new cars. But this just it's nuts. It's like we got a brand new game in front of us.
Yeah, it's a beautiful refresh, but it has caused a lot of pain. And yeah, I guess the that whole new feeling or new game aspect is what's causing the most problem. Like I noticed that I can't drive front engine cars the way that I normally do. I feel if I'm just trying to relate driving styles, I feel like I have to drive them like a mid-engine car. I have to kind of float and caress the car a little bit. But the more I do practicing, it seems like it's the the 1.9, and then I'll get a setup from, say, Chilcut or from Nate Spetch, because they've been great helps in trying to help me find some pace. And it's like, okay, now I have to overdrive the car again, and it's a very slim border, almost as if it wasn't slim before, between surviving and going fast and just chuging the tires. But I definitely did notice that graining you were talking about, trying to practice for Nürburgring. I think I went 10 minutes and I had light graining in the front. I was like, all right, let's
Yeah,
throw that setup in
tire
the garbage.
yeah tire management is gonna be huge. I'm very anxious to see how everybody feels after round one. That will probably be most people's first 60-minute race on the new patch. But yeah, I mean, obviously the point is, they want to make it feel like, more realistic, more like real life. And RS, said 10 years from now we'll look back at this and like laugh at how it was. But it takes time, obviously, to get there. But I think this is definitely a big step in the right direction.
No doubt.
100%. As far as like what this introduces is it also introduces the fact that you have to now consider a qualifying setup versus a race setup. And I know that so many good drivers already do have a qualifying setup versus a race setup, but you could in 1.8 you could feasibly use a qualifying setup for a 60-minute race without issue. Whereas now I can honestly say I don't think I will ever touch a qualifying setup for a 60-minute stint, knowing how my tires are just after trying to set 5 laps in a row. But there is a level of realism that this is introduced for like strategy alone as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just hope it actually rains at Nürburgring because Curtis, if you're listening, if it doesn't rain, it's going to be a giant misery fest.
yeah. What is it? Four
But,
sets
but
for six
it'll be
hours?
fun. Yeah, 4 sets, and thankfully we don't have to qualify this time, so that's nice. But yeah, 75-minute stints, 6 hours, and 4 sets of tires. Whew.
Yeah, good luck with that.
No doubt, we're all gonna need it. You pointed to round one. We've had another word search shot out by the admins. I think it's been a few days now, maybe a week. Have
It's been 2 days, 3 days.
2 days, whatever. Um,
Sorry.
I don't use my
God.
brain. I just kind of like exist here in the Discord. Um, have any of you figured out the track? I'm not asking
Yes.
you to share, but have you got it correct?
Yes.
Yes,
I
I actually guessed it today, and
Nice.
it's
Oh, really?
yeah, yep, yeah.
Oh,
If I'm
that
lying,
changes
if
my
I'm lying,
choice.
yeah, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Yeah.
What about you, Trav? Any luck?
so I did the crossword during or sorry in between meetings the other day. I found so many words, and then I got lazy and never bothered following up with Doug. So, nope. And I'm good, man. I like the surprise.
S-
I'll just embrace it when it gets revealed.
Same here. I like picking my poison in car and just dealing with the schedule as it comes. Race to race to race. But any hopes on a track to see this season?
Valencia. Big fan of Valencia.
Retweet.
I don't know about you guys. Big fan of it.
Yes, it's a lot of fun to drive.
It has been pretty quirky. I think the first thing I did was see how wide I could go with the track limits at turn 1 legally.
You can go. You can go very, very wide.
Yeah, but
Yep, two
haven't.
tires on the green. Just make sure
Yes.
you get back before the end of the curbing there.
Yep.
Yeah, a very I would say different track to what we've the other ones that we've got. Personally, I don't think there's a track that compares to it, but it could be my pea brain.
I would say the closest in this game would be Misano, probably.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Just the kind of look of it and little Barcelona.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously they kind of share some of the same design language, maybe.
Speaking of design language, who encouraged racetrack designers to put these meaningless chicanes? Like the chicane there that you just I drop like a gear and just fly straight over it, immediately back on the throttle. Like, okay. Or not chicane, corner, whatever you would like to call that little jut in the road to the right.
Oh,
'Cause
going up the hill, like the second to last turn?
Yeah, that second to
little
last quote
dogleg?
unquote turn, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, at least with the new physics, you can. I haven't driven a Kailami and tried Cheetah yet, but handling improvement over curbs is one of the big new features. You know, so.
I don't think I
yeah.
would. I don't think I'd risk Cheetah in a monster truck, dude. That is.
So I'll give you some pea brain testing results. Kailami was one of the tracks I used for car testing, and I actually even went out and drove the 992 there, and I survived hitting the inside chicane and stayed valid.
Mm.
Nice.
It wasn't a hot lap, but I mean like the
Yeah.
car didn't feel as horrible as it did in 1.8. So I mean there's definitely some improvements to be made, or that have been made, I should say. But
Yeah, I'd also heard that people like driving the old Porsche at Watkins, for example, the bus stop chicane there. Like, there's some cars that have some weird behavior over curbs, like that they shouldn't. So I think across the board, it seems like it's a definite improvement. That's one of the things that I'm most excited about. You know, you watch the real cars and they can handle those curbs and things like that. And so I'm sure they have a few things to iron out. But yeah, it's an exciting time for this game. It was a long time coming.
I don't think I've ever seen a GT3 in IRL go over Cheetah. I might need to watch a race around Kyalami to see if they actually do it, because I would be shook if they can take that giant sausage curb.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean purposefully plow through it, you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, a little bit more wiggle room, as Josh said. There's a little bit more margin for error, maybe.
Not get sent into the nether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great analogy. I love it.
makes me think of a meme I found on my lunch. It's Walter White with a pickaxe hanging from the roof of the Nether. It's me trying to mine pickaxes, swings, and he falls. I forget what episode of Breaking Bad that's from, but he's like swinging at something. He falls off like a ladder, falls into the lava and dies. That's my
Oh boy.
youngster humor there in a nutshell.
Yeah, you can't describe memes, dude.
Hey, you
Like,
know what?
Yeah, they don't hit the same.
It's
that's
okay.
a no-no.
You know what? It makes me want to delete my social media and like go into the woods and not exist anymore. Like, how do I find that funny? But that's okay.
Because we're all brain dead a little.
I think we've all just been awaiting this weekend with 6 hours of Nürburgring, and for me, Baku. Like F1 coming back is a staple
You know,
in my week.
it's been gone for so long, you almost forget about it.
A new season starts this week.
Yeah. Season 1.5.
Testing's over.
Yeah.
Preseasons. But yeah, any I haven't heard much spice coming into this weekend other than like managerial or like staffing stuff, but no real developments or hopefuls.
It's it's been a quiet. It's definitely been a quiet. I was about to say mid-season break, but you know, after 3 race break, I don't even know what you started the season break.
First
Yeah, sure.
recess.
Yep. Yeah, it's been super quiet as far as development goes. I think Ferrari mentioned that they were bringing some upgrades, but
I
uh,
believe Merc
what?
did too.
Yeah, I mean, what do we really expect out of Ferrari this season? And
Oh, wait, they replaced the whole team? Oh, no, no.
That's too much of an upgrade.
um, yeah, it'll be interesting. I know at the end of right before the break there was a pretty heated moment and interview between Charles and Sainz there, so it'll be interesting to see how that teammate dynamic plays out for the rest of the season.
I think teammate wise they'll be fine. Just 'cause like I don't know, Ferrari wants to protect Charles, but it doesn't seem like obvious favoritism. It just seems like Carlos can't do anything with the car. So, I mean, he's a little bit closer this season so far. We'll see how this weekend goes, but
Yeah,
I don't-
so they're doing one of those sprint shootouts, right? I think.
Yes. Yep.
that's right. And they changed the format with it too. The result of the sprint no longer means the starting order for the race on Sunday.
It means only nothing.
I think there's still
And 8
points.
points. There's still points, but like it's just a spectacle. It's more racing.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't expand the points on it though. Like that just makes it so pointless.
Yeah.
It's only worth
Especially
it if you
when
can
it
win.
could cost teams more money. So
Exactly.
they get an accident.
So they're qualifying, running a sprint race for some small amount of points, and then starting the race on Sunday in their qualifying positions.
They have
Yeah.
two different qualifying sessions. One for the
Oh.
sprint and one for the actual race. Yes, we get two qualies,
Oh.
one pointless race, and a race. I don't get it. But hey, let's just keep changing things, right?
I'm down.
You say so.
I don't want it. I'm
I don't
with
know.
I'm with Max.
I think it's pointless. To be honest, I think it's a greater risk than it is a reward.
Agreed. I think if they were to, I guess like what I said earlier, if they were to assign like actual points to it and have it
Yeah.
like an actual second race or something,
Hmm.
then it'd be
Like,
worthy of these teams putting multi-million-dollar cars out there for 20 laps.
you mean like make it like F2?
Essentially,
Basically.
Yeah, like the practicality of it and the outcome versus reward is right now just so minimal that it doesn't make sense for it to even be in the calendar. But from a perspective standpoint and entertainment value, they're fantastic races to watch because we finally get to see people taking lunges that they wouldn't normally take. Um,
Well,
yeah,
we're assuming that's what's going to happen.
I mean,
Could just be that they tell the drivers, say, hey, this means nothing, so don't go fuck this up.
I'm willing to put $5 down now because it's Baku, that it's going to be 5 laps of racing, 5 laps of safety car, 5 laps of racing, 5 laps of safety car.
yeah, no, not wrong, not wrong.
Someone's going to hit the castle.
Charles.
I am
Wow,
stupid.
didn't even think about that one. Just went for it.
My dude's a magnet for that. Absolute magnet.
I am stupid.
You can't tell me he doesn't think about that every time he goes through that corner.
Oh yeah.
NFF.
So
Yeah, what's up?
no. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. I'll
Oh,
be.
go ahead. No, okay. Okay, fine. No, I was gonna throw you guys a curveball here. Did you?
Oh.
I don't know if it's on your list. Did you see where this German tabloid magazine published a fake interview with Michael Schumacher that was generated via AI?
I heard about this, but I did not read into it.
Yeah. So this tabloid magazine ran this cover spread with Schumacher first interview, and I haven't read it, but people who I suppose know him said that it sounds deceptively real. So obviously Michael Schumacher serious brain injury and like a skiing accident, what, like a decade ago or so maybe. So
Yeah.
probably not doing actual interviews, but yeah, Schumacher family is gonna take legal action. Like,
I
what are
hope
people
so.
doing?
I don't know.
They're
There's
just
a lot of.
they're having too much fun because now it's just getting mean and offensive. Like that's I don't know. To some people that's enraging, and to the family that's good for them that they're taking legal action. That's wild.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that at all.
Yeah, AI is everywhere these days.
Snapchat, Michael
Yeah.
Schumacher.
I was
Oh,
gonna.
I clicked out of that so fast in Snapchat. I was like,
I did too.
no thanks,
Yeah, well,
disable.
I-
Goodbye.
I had just gotten hacked on Discord last week, and now every link that I see or AI that I see just puts me on edge.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw that, I said, "Oh, not again."
Yeah, it's I keep seeing like pictures of people talking with it, and I'm like, oh, like what the hell is this? How does this work? Like how does one even acquire this? And then I'm on my phone on my lunch break, and my buddy sends me a Snapchat. I open it. I slide out of it to the menu, and I see my AI just sitting there with a message, and it just like I guess added itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all
Did I
right,
invite you in here? No.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I don't want this. Now I don't want to participate. But it is from an objective perspective, it's pretty damn cool what AI can do. But from like what it's actually doing perspective, what the hell?
Yeah, I think it's only gonna get murkier as time goes on. People creating a Drake in the Weekend song supposedly.
Yes, an
That
AI
via
Drake song.
AI.
that
Yeah,
song actually does slap though.
it does.
It
It is really
actually
good.
It
It's the
really does.
best Drake song he's put out in a decade.
Yeah. And the whole thing with art and people generating all this stuff and mm, yep.
What a
Freaky world.
what a crazy world we live in. And if that's all too much for you, you can come hang out with us at SRA.
What are you trying
Yes,
to say?
until we have bots driving for people.
See, I thought that was going to be the thing, and then I saw a reel on Instagram of a guy standing amongst some RC cars driving around, and then he pans over and they're being driven by a bunch of people on sim rigs. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no,
What?
that's how it's going to be done.
What?
Yeah,
no, no, no. I keep seeing that too, and I'll be honest, that looks so fun.
right? Like, before before we got AIs driving cars and stuff like that, it's going to be, nah, here's your racing.
It
Here's
looks,
your
oh,
life.
dude, it looks so entertaining. I've seen those videos pop up quite a few times now, and I'm like, man, that is genius. Being able to rig an RC car to be able to correlate with a sim rig at home. That would be hella fun. I'd
Oh,
never
yeah.
leave my house.
Honestly. Put the VR headset on and away you go.
Go get
Yeah.
your groceries.
Just load it up.
There's a guy that does that too. He's got a little like rolling basket thing.
I've
Eh.
seen that too.
That guy's funny. They're all just like, "What the heck is this?" Oh, he wants shark food. All right.
Very specific.
It was the most recent one I saw. But who's participating in the 6 hours of Nürburgring?
It's gonna be a
And-
no for me, dog.
Yeah, I was really considering it. I haven't done an endurance event in a hot minute, and I gave it a good long thought. And then my buddy asked me if I wanted to grab beers, and I said yes. So
Saturdays are for the boys.
sometimes you gotta prioritize different things in life.
Exactly.
I like that your priority is in the right place. Do the same.
Yes, I'm planning on being there.
Nice. You going with a
Solo?
team format or solo?
Oh, solo? No, thank you. No, I'm gonna be driving with Ryan Walker of Madhouse. So we're taking the Merc. Nerbs is not a favorite track, nor is it a really good track of mine. But yeah, I have to say that I don't know if all cars, maybe it's just the Mercedes. I think the Mercedes now can like eat curbs for breakfast, but that last chicane, you can get up there on those little elevated curbs there. You know, the ones that have the little ballers sticking up out of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just take the big
Yeah.
ramp right over the grass.
Oh yeah, you can really fly over them, or at least maybe not fly, but you can go into them with a little bit more confidence. I'll say.
I will say the
Me-
Ferrari likes it as well, but I plan on soloing the event as a practice for getting used
Oh
to
my
the car
God.
for the season.
And you do VR too, right?
I do not.
Oh, you don't?
No, I do
Oh,
not. That was Evan who
oh, it's
did
Evan,
the
that's
8-hour
right.
solo in the VR,
Yeah, that would make
Jeez.
me vomit.
honestly.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Evan
did
Evan did
one,
the SRA 1K
uh-huh,
in VR solo.
at Indy. Yeah,
My
I
guy.
think he said he stayed out of trouble, so he took one or two pit stops where he just like got up, went to the bathroom, took a little extra time. But God, my knee hurts after like an hour of driving. So
Yeah, dude.
I
I
had
did
to,
the 6 hours of Hungaroring and I was dead.
I had to take the next day off work after the 1K because my knee was shot. It
yeah,
was
I'm getting old, so I gotta think about things like stretching beforehand and
yeah,
maybe move my pedals back a little bit. I really don't want to do that, but
that's exactly
yeah.
what I had to do. That knee angle's too much.
Yeah, soloing is a task.
No doubt.
My God.
You Josh, you said you're driving it by yourself?
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll see if I crash
Godspeed,
out.
my boy.
Yeah, I might have to give up after the fourth stint when I run out of tires and
Mm.
just say, that's enough practice.
So they reinstated the Ferrari, so you're doing the 296?
Yeah, the 296 is currently the registration. I might change before the weekend. Just, I don't know. I'd like to do it in whatever car I want to drive for the season. But
Yeah.
it's either going to be this or the Merc is now heavily in contention after my stints at Kailami, it being my second fastest car, so it feels pretty good.
It's definitely a top pick car right now for those who aren't going with the Ferrari. I can see a lot of people choosing the Merc. I know over in another league, my teammate Chris Stefik, he drives the Merc, and he got up to grips with it super quick on 1.9, and I think he said the setups actually translated fairly well. So, it's a car that's ready to go.
Well, there's some alien information for you.
Oh.
Yeah, I will say if you I don't know if it's just Nürburgring or the setup that I was trying, which is not great because I know next to nothing about that stuff really. Going back to taking care of the tires, you really have to, I don't want to say like tiptoe, but you really have to be aware of the limit. I think people that, the bro steerers out there in previous patches and maybe from other games, like if you're trying to hoon the car around and force it, you're not going to have a good time.
Completely agree. And I guess this weekend we shall see what people are made of.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
think it's
good
going to be
little,
fun.
there's a good little test to see, what cars kind of prevail from just race pace and excuse me, tire management alone. Like, I for one, I haven't done tons of testing all the cars for a long period of time. I've mainly just done the new Ferrari, new Lambo, and the new Porsche. But I have absolutely no clue how long they all last for in extended stints. So it'll be cool watching people drive those new cars for this weekend and kind of seeing how they come out and the intel that they'll provide, because Lord knows I'm not going to put that much time into driving before the season.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I need y'all to tell me what's up.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've actually haven't even touched the Porsche or the Lambo yet. Just
Don't
Ferrari.
touch the Porsche. It's the worst thing ever. I hate it.
It's so it's
The
so
992
bad.
feels.
Why do you hate it?
The new one feels really good.
What?
Yeah, see that's why I'm asking, because I hear people that love the old one are like, oh, they butchered my boy.
I
And
think
then
that is, Jeff. I think you hit the nail on the head right there. It is people who loved the Porsche and were driving it immediately before the patch are now trying the 992, and they're like, why the heck doesn't this thing feel like it did, or what the previous Porsche felt like?
Yeah.
I think that's my mentality. But you know what? Trying to stick with it and trying to give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. I personally though, like, man, between the three, the Lambo, that car just feels nice. That car feels great out of the box. Don't put
Yeah,
a setup on it, whatever. Try it with the aggressive, but it just feels nice out of the box. Not particularly fast, but easy to drive. Sounds nice. Can we talk about the sound for a second of these new cars?
100%, man. They sound amazing.
What? No,
Yeah.
no, don't
What?
give me
I don't know
that.
about that.
Buddy, the sound of the turbo on that Ferrari.
Yeah.
I mean,
They do sound awesome, and I like the Ferrari. Hot take. I like the Ferrari sound. That little turbo whistle. So you still get some brap brap on your downshifts.
the
And then
Ferrari
what-
isn't the worst.
Once you notice it, you can't unhear it. But every time you let off the gas pedal, the turbo like
Choo.
squeaks or some. Yeah, something like that. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Unfortunately.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I'll need to do some more laps around the Ferrari. It definitely wasn't the worst sounding, but man, the Porsche. If I have to listen to that for an entire season, I won't be happy. For the first like 4 seasons of SRA, I chose a car strictly because of how it sounded, and
So you drove the Lexus.
the Lambo, you know.
Okay.
But man, that new Porsche it sounds like I have my Hoover vacuum on the entire time.
What? See, I think it sounds a little less extreme than the Cup car. But the thing when the 992 Cup car came out is it sounds so much more like a race car than a lot of the other cars, like from the inside of the car. It just sounds more like wild and unrestricted. And when you hear the cars in real life, you're like, yeah, that's what they should sound like. And it's almost, I don't know if maybe they've got a different team, doing the sound or something. But it sounds like with those new Porsches that they've like kind of stepped up their game. I feel like they just sound more, I don't know, unbridled, just brutish.
I'm loving the word choice.
Hey,
Way
I try,
past
man.
my vocabulary.
Honestly, I'm flipping through the thesaurus right now.
The what? Did you say thesaurus?
The what?
The huh?
The thesaurus.
The thesaurus might actually be a Canadian thing, Josh.
Really?
Wait, no, now I can't tell if Bailey's kidding or not.
We'll never know.
Bailey,
I
do you
have
not
no
know what
clue.
a thesaurus is? I gotta
Come
stop
on,
saying
tell
that
us.
word.
You can tell us. It's okay.
There's so much emphasis on thesaurus.
Yeah, because it was the word the twice in a row, so I needed to not screw it up.
No, I definitely don't know what thesaurus is. I'm just yanking your chain.
Alright, that's the most yanking I've got in a while.
He just looked it up in the He just looked it up in the dictionary.
Thesaurus.
I looked it up in the who?
Oh man. It's scary because we're on our way there. I don't think the millennials know what a dictionary and a thesaurus is.
Oh my god, no. They barely know what a
Yeah.
Bing is.
You had
Had to go there with Bing.
Buddy, that's the
most-
best internet search.
Oh, okay. I think we're finished here.
Yeah.
So good it forces itself to be your default.
Your takes are looking a little rough.
What can I say?
Uh,
What can I
nothing.
say? Exactly. I think that's a pretty good place to end it, though.
Call it.
Calling it here. So from myself, from Bailey, and from the great aliens we've had on tonight, the Mothership says, glip glop, see you later.
What?